Hi there and welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Designs in Ontario, Canada. And I do apologize. I've been kind of away for the last few weeks. I've been away more than I've been home. And I actually had to have surgery this week. Look at my poor hand, jeepers. And although it was minor surgery, it did kind of, take a chunk out of my week. So I'm feeling okay. I feel good. Today I'm going to do I got my May paper pumpkin. I think I only got it yesterday. And it's kind of not my jam, but I'm going to do it anyway. And just where's my take your pick tool here. I'm going to, oh, this just fell apart here. There. My take your pick tool. I'm just going to open it up. It's another dreary, really cold Ontario day here. I was hoping to get out on my bike a little bit. Well, I'm not supposed to ride my bike or do anything too exercisey for a few days, but even this weekend, I don't think it's supposed to be really, really nice. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so here is the paper pumpkin. It's called Mountain Majesties. And again, these kind of, I don't know what you call them, like landscapey type things are really not my jam, but we're going to give it a go. And I printed this off. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you do get an email from Paper Pumpkin, and there is a link to take you to where to print these off. And I've shown you before what I do with mine. I just print it out. Oh, can you hear Georgie? What do you want to get out? I just print it off and then I give it a little quick trim so that it fits in my envelope. So I'm just going to give it a little quick trim here. I print it off at full, like full 100%, whatever. There, and I just keep them in these little, I just had it, my Avery L envelope. Georgie was on my desk. Well, you can hear her. She's in here driving me bananas already. Oh, what do I do with that? Anyway, it goes in my, oh, here it is. It goes in my Avery L envelope. And I do have a link below with where to get them. I just get mine on Amazon. A lot of craft stores carry them, so you can go ahead and just check them out. It's the Avery L, and I think it's 5001, the number for this particular plastic envelope. They're great. And so here is the kit. Oh my God, can you hear her? I have a metal filing cabinet behind me here, and she's trying to open the drawer. What a goofball. So the Stampin' Spot is Misty Moonlight. I did dig out my big Misty Moonlight, so I'm going to be using that. And the stamps, I'll show you this. Here are the stamps. So there's a bunch of birds. Happy birthday to a wonderful man. You mean the world to me. You're the greatest. I love you. Best dad ever. Happy Father's Day. So they're pretty nice. Hi, Tina. Thanks for joining me. So this is the stamp set. Let me just get rid of Georgie here. She's going to drive me nuts. Come here, kitty. Yeah, you want to get out? Oh, you go. There, she's gone. My box is different. No, it's a typical regular paper pumpkin. Last month's paper pumpkin was really fancy. Every so often they'll have a really fancy box. But typically the paper pumpkin is this orange, unless they have like a special paper pumpkin. So I've watched a couple of videos on the kit just to get some ideas for some alternatives. And there's some really pretty ones out there. And if you're new to me, I typically don't just do like the regular paper pumpkin, because I'll show you in a second when I open this. The backgrounds, the card bases that you get are so pretty, and they're double-sided. Oh, yeah, you only get that special box every so often. Most of the time, they're just the orange ones. I have a whole closet full of orange ones that I need to finish. So in here, we have a little roll of tear and tape. Oh my gosh, look at these envelopes. These are beautiful. This is Lost Lagoon. Sorry, I got quite a shadow in here today for some reason. So this is Lost Lagoon in here. That's really pretty. You know what? I don't know if I can turn those lights off. I mean, I can, but I don't know how dark it'll be in here. That shadow is really annoying. Here is, I think it's Petal Pink. Yeah, Petal Pink. And then these ones are Misty Moonlight. Now, you can just bet I'm not going to use these as envelopes. I'm going to cut them up and use them as backgrounds. And then we also have here some vellum. There's 3 of these vellum, and they're little like punch outs. They're really pretty. Ooh, big container of, what do you call these? Dimensionals. We have a bunch of labels. All right, so here are our card bases. So you see what I mean? Like these card bases, like to me, there's 2 cards right there instead of just one. Like they mean you to use it like this. But to me, that's a waste of a good card front. So I'm going to cut this and you make 2 cards out of that. So this is one of them. There's 3 of these. I love the colors. This reminds me of, if you've ever been in Northern Ontario, this is kind of what the trees actually look like this in some areas just because of the weather. And yeah, it's pretty neat. So here we have another set of these. Are these vellum? Yeah, these are also vellum, but they're really thick. Like you can see my hand through, but they're really nice and thick. And this is the other one to compare. So we have this one, and we have this one. So there's 3 of these as well, I assume. Yeah, 3 of those. And then here's the next card base. Those are really pretty. Looks like almost like a rainbow. You know what? I'm going to turn that upper light off because I'm getting quite a shadow here. Oh, no, that's way too dark. Let me try this. My husband and I were playing, oh, my light is not even plugged in. My husband and I were playing around with, I guess I'll have to put it back on, with my lights yesterday because I have a bar light above and it's LED and it's really bright, and I've even turned them down quite a bit, but I still have that shadow, so I do apologize for that because I don't know what else to do. That's my camera. Anyway, here is the other one. And if you can see, there's kind of almost like a rainbow kind of thing here. So that's pretty cool. And then we have another page of punch outs. We have 3 of these as well. And these are all pieces that punch out. So those are kind of cool. And then we have a 3rd card base. And there's definitely a sun here. And then it looks almost very deserty, but with, I guess, water or mountains, I don't know. So that's pretty cool. Sorry about that shadow, you guys. And then, oh, another page of punch outs. So this one has a sentiment, so that's pretty cool. And then these trees. Very, very cool. And then in every paper pumpkin, you also get one of these little printouts, which actually has your stamps on them. I just usually stick it in my folder, but if you wanted to, you could put some tear and tape along the side here and across the bottom and make like a little envelope, and then these will just sit right in here like this, and you could store them in a little plastic envelope or something if you wanted to. But I've been doing this since I started Paper Pumpkin 7 years ago, and it works for me. So I just use this. I keep them in a plastic shoebox in my closet here, so it works for me. So if you're new, just arriving, please say hi. Tell me where you're from. I'm in Ontario, southeastern Ontario. And these are my stamps. So here, let's see if we can get a little organized here. I just got rid of Georgie. She was, first of all, she was on my desk, and then she was in my face. And then she was scratching against my filing cabinet, getting my attention so she could get out of here. So that was good. So she's gone now, thank goodness. Oh, and before I forget too, there's also a add-on for April, May, and June paper pumpkins, these little dies. And this is what they cut out. So you get a floral, which will coordinate with next month's, and then the word hugs, some leafery, and a little, like a banner type thing. And the number for this is 166238. And they're available only to Paper Pumpkin subscribers. So we'll have to see if we can use that. Oh, it shows you right on the back here of your paper pumpkin. So let's have a look here. The coordinating colors are Basic Black, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie, and Petal Pink. So lots going on in here. And then when you get your instructions, they're in full color. And they tell you exactly what you need to do. So if you're new to kit making, these are great. So also, every paper pumpkin, let me do it this way, has a ruler across the bottom. Now the paper pumpkin rulers across the bottom are in inches because currently paper pumpkin is only available in North America. If you purchase the kits that come in the brown boxes, their instructions have a ruler, but there's 0 center, and then they have centimeters on the right and inches on the left because they're international, just in case you're wondering. All right, so let's go ahead and start with card number 1. So we need this card base, and let's see. Trying to figure out which punch outs we need here. I can't quite figure it out. Oh, this one, I guess. Yep. So we're going to use this guy. This doesn't seem right to me. I wonder if I'm using the wrong ones. Yeah, these don't seem right. Let's have a look. Oh, I see. Okay, so we're going to use this one from the paper, and then this one from the vellum, and this one from the vellum. Okay. All right, so, and then we also need our birds. So we have our bird stamp set here. Now I'm putting this on paper because before I put it on my glass mat and they stuck to my glass mat, and then I couldn't get them off with the block. So when you purchase your first paper pumpkin, or when you get your first paper pumpkin, you're going to receive a block that looks like this. And then you want to get this with your first paper pumpkin. Now, if you're getting the brown kits, any stamping kit will have a block in it. And I've got quite a few. I probably have like these because I buy so many kits. So every time you purchase a kit that has stamping in it of the brown regular monthly kits, you'll get a block in it. So let me pick this up. So I've got my birds. Now the first thing you want to do when you have new stamps, whether they're photopolymer like this or the red rubber, you always want to give them a quick clean, because there may be some manufacturer's residue, whether it's a bit of like oil or, you know, something like an oily residue on there. So I always give them a quick clean, and I always give it a test stamp. So let me grab my cardboard that came in my kit, and I'm just going to give them a test stamp. Ooh. My stamp seems kind of, I think my stamp is too wet still from cleaning. Let me just clean that off. So I don't know where you guys are from. However, in Ontario, it is a rainy, cold, yucky, almost like a March day. It's not like a May day. There, so that's printing out, stamping out quite nicely. So the first thing I want to do though is, because I don't want to waste my card front, I'm going to cut this in half. Let me get my stamps out of the way here before I stick them to the bottom of something. I've lost stamps having them stick to something, and then I go looking for them and they're actually stuck to the bottom of something. So I've test stamped my birds. So let's give this a cut. So I've got my trimmer, and I'm going to trim this to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to do the same card that they're doing, but, oops, I just popped this right off. But I'm just going to do it so that I can get 2 cards out of my card front, or card base, I guess. So let's see, I've got 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just having issues with my software here, sorry. So I've got my 4 by 5 1/4. So let's see, what will I use as my card base? So I did look up the colors, and that doesn't really give me much much of a contrast. And the lagoon, it's okay. Or I could just do it on basic white. So I always have basic white thick cardstock bases made up. So maybe I could just do it on that. Yeah, we'll just do it on that. So we'll just do it on a basic white, just so that I can get 2 cards out of my card base. All right, so let's see, what are we going to do? So because I've cut 1/4 inch off of these, I probably will have to trim our layers here. So the first thing I want to do though is stamp my birds according to my instructions. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've got my big bunch of birds here. Oh, I just put, fingerprints. So I'm going to have to put more birds because I have ink on my fingers. Gotta love it. So, and then there's a small set of birds here. So let me grab those. I'm just going to grab an itty bitty block. Give this a little quick clean. And then I'm going to, let me just test it. My pad seems to be really inky. That's better. So I'm just going to have to put some birds up here because I got fingerprints all over my card. There, that's better. And I'll put They also had some little birds over here. Okay, so that's good. And I'm just going to clean my stamps because I don't want my card base to transfer any ink from those stamps. So let me close this. So let's see. We're going to need these 3 pieces. So on the green one, we're going to use some dimensionals. So I already have some dimensionals that I started that I have on my desk. So I'm just going to use these up. So there's one. And then on this one, it says to use some tear and tape across the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to make sure that I have it the right way. Oh my God, I got ink on everything. So this is just a new roll of tear and tape. The tear and tape that came in my kit is just right here. It's just a little one. I save these little ones and I take them with me when I travel. There we go. So yeah, this weather is really starting to make me crazy. So let's see. So this goes this way. This does not seem like the right color. I wonder if I have the wrong piece. Yeah, I think I do. I think I actually need this piece here. So not the vellum, it's this one out of the paper. So I'll put the vellum one back over in that pile. But I believe this one is the vellum, which is probably why we're using tear and tape on the bottom. All right, so, and this one, Now again, I do have to trim these because I did cut them down. And this goes like this. I feel like I don't have the right pieces. Okay, I think this one. So you do need the vellum. Sorry, I'm telling you, this is not working with my brain today. Okay, so this one's going to go here. Or higher, I guess. And then this one's going to go here. And then this one is going to go here. And then this one goes on top like this. Okay, got it. Okay, so you're going to need 4 pieces. So we have the vellum one in the blue. Then we have the paper one also in the blue. So we're using 2 pieces from this. So we're using the green one and the blue one from here. And then 2 pieces of the vellum. That's what I was not getting. Okay, so let's go ahead and this is going to go on dimensionals. So let's go ahead and put that on dimensionals. Now, typically you wouldn't put dimensionals behind vellum because you can see them, but because this is also going to be covered mostly with the other papers, it isn't really going to matter. So, but it shows you don't want to go too high with that. So I'm going to put that there. So this is A, so this one goes on first. Now, I didn't watch the Stampin' Up one, how they actually did this, so I'm kind of winging it. So this is going to go here. Now again, I did trim my front, so this is going to have to be trimmed afterwards. And so my dimensionals are sticking out. So let's go ahead and move these guys over. I'm just going to pop these here. Like that. There. Okay, so like that. And then B, this one is B. And this one is going to go like this. So I'm going to put tear and tape on the back of this one as well. All right, so this one's going to go here. Like that. And then this one has tear and tape on it, so it's going to go along here. And then this one has dimensionals on it. It's going to go across the bottom. Oh, I think I need these guys to come down a bit. There. And then this one's going to go here. Like that. I think I'm going to pop a or mini dimensional behind there. Grab my take your pick tool. I'm just going to put a mini dimensional behind this little point. There. There. That's cute. All right, so next we need a label. And the sentiment that says Happy Father's Day. Will that fit on there? Now, I don't have anyone to send a Father's Day card to, so I'm going to use You're the Greatest. So let me just put this on a piece of paper. And I'm going to pick it up with my block. And grab my ink. Oh, I almost forgot to give it a clean. So you always want to clean your stamps first. Okay, and I'm going to give just a little quick test stamp. Beautiful. And then we have our banner. All right, so see how centered I can get that. Not bad. So let's see, I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back of this. So if you're just popping in, don't forget to say hello and tell me, ooh, I almost put that on upside down. And tell me where you're from. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? We got to trim this. Close my ink before I get ink on everything. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm just going to trim so that it matches my card base. There. Because I did give it a trim because we're putting it on a card base here. So let me go ahead and pop this on here now. You are the greatest. And then this is just going to go right on here. And I'm going to use some liquid glue. I am a liquid glue person. I prefer it to tape runner, but you can use whatever your favorite glue is, obviously. And I just use the regular Tombow glue, but I put it in one of these little bottles just so that I can get a nicer little stream of glue there. So there is my first card. Now on the inside, if you wanted to, you can stamp some of the little birds. So why don't we do that? Let me grab my birds here and I'll grab my block again. I often do not put a sentiment in my cards until I'm ready to send them because, you know, what you send to one person isn't necessarily what you want to send to the next person. So I often will just leave mine and then do them according to whoever I'm sending it to. But you can still decorate the inside of the card. So let's go ahead and do these little birds. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp them off and then stamp them on the card. So I've got my cardboard here that was in the kit. So I'm going to stamp them off. And let's see what they look like stamped off. I don't know. Maybe I'll stamp them full bore here. They look kind of sad by them little selves there. So I'm going to go ahead and just do them full strength, if you will. So I'm just going to throw some birds up here. There. So we have some birdies. I'm not going to put a sentiment in there until I'm ready to send it. And sometimes when I'm using a basic white card base like this, I will actually make a mat and then put another piece of white in here, just because I do not like flimsy cards. And they make, you know, I figure if you're putting that much effort into it, you know, make it a little bit more strong. Now, if I'm just doing thank you notes or a little, you know, quick note to hand out, like sometimes I'll hand them out if I'm out and about. If I'm at a restaurant or something, I might hand out a little card and say thank you very much. I just make note cards. I buy the note card little packages and I make up some note cards and I carry them with me. So there's always that. But if I'm sending a big birthday card or something, I would finish the inside with a mat and another piece of basic white. And it's a lot of cardstock, but you know what? You're making it special for someone. And so I don't know. I just feel like it's something that I like to do. So personal preference, whatever floats your boat. And I find, oh, look, geez, I'm getting ink on everything. I don't know. I just find that if I'm putting that much effort into a card, then I want it to be really special without fingerprints all over it. Because look at me. Oh, good Lord. I am covered in ink. Don't ask me why. It's where I was a newbie. I don't know. I guess it's because I haven't done any stamping for like a month. I was away 3 out of the 4 weeks, and as I said earlier, I had surgery on Wednesday, and I just haven't felt like doing anything. And so now here I am, and I'm like, I swear I haven't touched an ink stamp, like a stamp and a ink pad for years. But anyway, so I will repair this. I'll pop this off later and put a new one on. But so there's the first card. So for card number 2, we have this card. That's pretty. As I said earlier, if you've ever been to Northern Ontario, the trees actually do look like this. They're pretty cool. So let's see, we need this card base. And our tree punch outs. So we need this one and this one. Now, if you look in if you're a Stampin' Up customer and you have Stampin' Up stamps, I'm pretty sure there's a few, hi Tina, there's a few stamps that do look like this, and you could actually, you know, use those to make up more cards. You're in Maryland, the rain is off and on. It's raining here. Well, it was raining here. I'm just looking out my window. It's very damp and very dreary and darn cold. Like it was 4 degrees Celsius. I don't know what it is now. When I was upstairs having lunch, it was 4 degrees Celsius. So that's pretty flippin' cold. I think to get a rough idea, let me just look on my weather thing here. 9 degrees, yeah. So 9 in Fahrenheit, they say to double it and add 32. So 18 plus 32 is what, 50? It's cold. It's cold. I do not like. I'm so done with this weather. I need summertime. I had to laugh. My neighbors put a pool in last fall. We've never had children on our street. And so in the 16 years that we've lived here, this is the first time we've had kids next door. And there's 4 of them. And their dad put in a pool last year, right at the end of the season. And those kids were in it all weekend. And there's me out there with like a sweatshirt on. And those kids were in the pool having the time of their lives. It was great. All right, I'm going to cut this in half just so I can get 2 card bases out of it. But I'm not going to trim it to 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to cut it right in half. And that way I will get 2 cards out of that card base. So let me pop one of them over here. Now this, let's see, it says on this one we're going to put tear and tape. And it comes with a little tear and tape. If you're just joining me, it comes with a little tear and tape, but I'm just using one that I had open. So I'm going to pop this on here. Like this. I've never been to Maryland. I had an acquaintance in Delaware, which is kind of, I think, in your neck of the woods. And am I doing this wrong? I kind of feel like I'm doing this wrong. Oh, I need this. That's why. All right. So, okay. So I have this. This is going to go. Okay. I thought I needed this, but I don't. I need this. Usually I don't struggle with the instructions like this. I don't know. I feel like I'm having a major brain fart. Anyway, so this is going to go like this. I don't know. This doesn't look right to me. No, I guess that's right. Okay, so this goes on like this. And then this goes on here. Oh, I see. Okay, I was right. I do need this. And then this goes on here like this. And then this goes on here like this. Sooner or later, it clues in. Okay. All right. Because I thought, boy, you can't see the, you know, the background. All right. So on here, I need to put some tear and tape. I don't usually get bamboozled by kits, but I don't know if it's just I have an aesthetic head and I'm just not cluing in or what, but holy smokes. Okay, so this is going on here. And so I'm going to pop this on here. So where my craft room is, I don't know if you can hear that. That is our sump pump. Because it's been raining so much, my sump pump has been going on constantly. Like just nonstop. You can hear it clank off. All right, so this time I did put tear and tape on there, but I'm going to pop some dimensionals on there because I had my layers wrong. So it says just to put dimensionals along here, so that's what I'm going to do. Like that. I usually tend to be a little heavier handed with dimensionals, but I just want to see what's what here. There we go. So this goes on here. There. Still didn't go on straight. I'm going to use my trimmer. I'm going to pop this in my trimmer. And then I'm going to pop this also in my trimmer. And then that way I've got my corner. There, that's better. Alrighty. And then I've got my trees, which are just going to go like this. All right, so we'll pop these guys up on dimensionals as well. This is just the weirdest weather. I feel so bad for everybody that got tornadoed last week. Oh my God. And then in sort of central western Ontario in Manitoba, they're having forest fires already. It's only May and they're already having devastating forest fires. Like, holy Dinah. We've been really lucky where we are here, although my husband and I went for, where did we go the other day? We went north of here to a friend's cottage last weekend, and there had been a tornado go through there, and you could see that there were big, massive trees ripped right out by the roots, and it was just unbelievable. Like, like giant trees ripped out by the roots. Unbelievable. There, super cute. And then I'm going to take one of these little rectangles here. And I'm going to put these both on dimensionals. So, what I want to do too before I put these on is stamp a couple of birds. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp some birds. And then on this wordy one, I'm just going to put the dimensionals off to one side since they will be partially on this white piece. So I need my little blue birds and I need my ink. And what have they done? They've just put some little birds right here. Just get that clean since I'm having such fabulous luck with my ink today all over my hands. All right, so then this is just going to go right here. Like that. Ugh, put them on the wrong side. Can you believe it? There. And this says, thank you for being the person that you are. So then this is just going to go right here. There. This is crooked. There. Super cute. So let's see what color. I think, so I've got Misty Moonlight here. Not that it matters because it's going to be the same size as the card itself anyway. I'm kind of thinking Misty Moonlight. Or I could use Lost Lagoon. I'm kind of liking the Misty Moonlight. So let's make a card base out of the Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. So if you have one of our trimmers, the beige little knob thing is our scoring tool. And then I'm going to rotate it half a turn and I'm going to cut it in half at 5 1/2 on the wide side. And the dark brown one is our cutting blade. Okay. So now I have 2 card bases. I'm just going to burnish my score line with my bone folder. And then this is just going to sit right on here like this. So let me grab my liquid glue. And then this is just going to sit right on here. Beautiful. And then on the inside, of course, I'm going to put a piece of white because you can't, I don't have any. I usually have a bunch of white cardstock pre-cut for the inside. I must have used them all getting ready for our class. So I'm going to grab one of these card bases. This is basic white thick, which typically I would just use regular basic white for the inside, but it's what I have right next to me, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to trim this down to 4 by 5 1/4. So 4. I have 5 1/4. And I think I'll put birds on the inside again. Now, if you look through your stamp sets, you may have one that has trees that look like this. I do have some, but I didn't look for them before I started, so I'd have to go out in my, where I keep my retired stamps and go look for one, and I never thought to do that, so we'll just use the birds for now. And then I'm just going to glue this to the inside of my card. And there we go. There's card number 2. It's pretty cute. And then let's find card number 3. So card number 3, we're going to use the one that's kind of like a desert-y more look. So I have that one right here. So we'll cut this one in half. And let's see, what do I need? I need one of these. And one of these. And then this vellum. All right, so let's see, what are we going to do with this? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is stamp our sentiment right in this little sunshine. I don't know if you can see. Oh, the shadow, jeepers. There's like a little clear sunshine. Oh, sorry, you guys. I got to figure this out. There. My husband bought me these little lights. I don't know if you can see. But I have nothing to clip them to my table with, so he's 3D printing me some clamps, and we're going to see if that's going to eliminate some of the shadowing. We were in here yesterday fiddling around, and it was driving me crazy. So that's what he's doing for me today, is he's 3D printing me a clamp so that I can clamp these 2 lamps to my table and see if we can eliminate this shadow from my camera, because my overhead lights are literally right over my head. And, oops, these are all stuck to my, and the shadows are crazy. And then I have a giant window right in front of me, which doesn't help either. It's lovely for the natural lighting, but, all right, so we want You Mean the World to Me. And I'm not complaining. I have a great craft room, so honestly, I'm not complaining. But it gets frustrating when I'm trying to video and there's so many shadows because it's hard for you guys to see. I've kind of gotten used to them, but it makes it really hard to see. All right, so I'm going to clean this stamp off just a smidgen. Now you want to make sure that it's not wet. Okay, and I'm just going to find my little cardboard and do a test stamp. That looks okay. Flip it over. This one has like an arch in it. Yeah, that's better. All right, so You Mean the World to Me. So that's going to go right here. Beautiful. That looks nice. So let's see. We need these 3 pieces. So this one goes on first. So I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. Boy, my cat was in here earlier, if you caught the beginning of the video. And she's lovely, but she's very clingy and she's very needy, and she can be a super pain in the butt. But she's lovable and she's sweet. And then, so my stepdaughter texted me this morning, and she has a beautiful ragdoll quilt. This thing is massive. Biggest cat I've ever seen. Did I say ragdoll quilt? Ragdoll cat. His name is Quinn, and he's absolutely beautiful. And so she had to take him to the vet yesterday, and he's not doing well. So basically, poor little guy, he's in palliative care. And then my girlfriend texted me in the afternoon and told me that, or yesterday afternoon, and told me that their dog had to go to the emergency vet yesterday, and he had to have, he had a bowel blockage, and so he had to have abdominal major emergency surgery. And I'm like thinking, holy Dinah, like these poor animals. So this is also going on dimensionals. So I guess I can put up with Georgie being a pain in the rear. She's healthy and full of beans. I can live with that. I always feel so sad when somebody's pet is not well. I'm going to take this one down a little. There. And we live in the country. And my neighbor posted, they have these little black hummingbirds that have been coming to their feeders. And it's quite tame. She got some really good pictures of it. I've never seen a black hummingbird before. And this one is having also dimensionals. Okay, that's a lot of dimension. There we go. And then this one is going to go down in this corner here like this. There we go. Cute. So that's the whole card. Let's put it on a card base. So let's use the other card base that we made. That is Misty Moonlight. I'll just grab my bone folder here and burnish this. So we'll just glue this onto here. My little tail here is bugging me. So my husband just upgraded his 3D printer. And he's like a kid with a new toy. I think he thinks he's just dying going to heaven. 3D printer heaven. It makes me happy to see him happy. He's just like a kid with a new toy. He flies model airplanes. He belongs to a club where they fly these model airplanes, and a friend of his crashed his plane, and the cowling, which is like the tip of the, it's like that big, but it's the tip of the front of the airplane. And so my husband printed him a new one on his new 3D printer, and on the old printer it said it was going to take something ridiculous, like, I don't know, 40 hours or something crazy like that. And with this new printer that he got, 4 hours it was done. And it fit. His friend came this morning to see if it fit his aircraft, and it did. So the two of them, they were like little boys in there, happy as a clam. It was so cute. Oh my gosh, they're so funny. They really are. They're like little kids. I'm glad that he has a hobby. We've lived here for 16 years and he's finally got a hobby. Now, having said that, he was busy. When we had our fabric store, he was my sewing machine repair guy. So I can't fault him for not having a hobby, but there. So this is going to go on the inside. Like this. Oops. Like that. There we go. So there's our third card. Now, I don't know. I feel like this needs something. I just don't know what. So if anybody has any brilliant ideas, let me know. If you do. So these are the 3 cards that we did. And then I wish I could think of the woman's name. It'll come to me maybe. She took one of, maybe this one. And when we were at convention, we, for Prize Patrol, some of us got a stamp called Peaceful View. So this is it, Peaceful View. And so she just used this to make the front of her card. So why don't we do that? So here it is. It's a cling stamp, and it is stuck. Holy crap. Let me see if I can get that off of there. Usually I put a little piece of washi tape so that I can get my finger under there, and I guess I forgot. Oh no, I did, but I was picking at the wrong side. I usually put a piece of washi tape on my stamps so that I can get my finger under there to pull it out. So anytime you have a cling stamp, that's a good thing to do. So let me grab my Misty. So if you have a Stamparatus, which was the Stampin' Up! Version of one of these, go ahead and grab that. I'm just going to pull out my sticky mat because I'm using a red rubber stamp and they're thicker. Ugh. There, pop that over there. So the red rubber stamp is thicker, so you have to get rid of that extra padding for your to accommodate for the red rubber. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back here. The cat hair is free. So if you get a card from me and there's cat hair on it, it's made with love. Because I do have 2 cats. And Georgie is always on my desk. And there's always black cat hair on here. So I'm going to stick that down there because I don't want it moving. And actually, I probably don't want it in the corner either. So let me move it up just a little bit. Like that. And then I'm going to center this on here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. Because you can see there's kind of a lip all the way around. So I want to center as well as I can this card onto the stamp. Because I want to make sure that I stamp the whole thing. All right, let's see. I almost wonder if it'd be better to put the stamp down. We could try it. It's only paper, right? So pop the stamp down. I do have adhesive on my card. So before we put any ink, we can do a little fake test here. Oh, it was upside down. Eek. I'm telling you. Okay. Good thing we looked. Okay, so let's give that a try. And I'm going to use the Secret Sea ink. Secret Sea, where are you? So Secret Sea is a new in color from Stampin' Up. It'll be around for a couple of years. So every 2 years they swap out the in colors, 5 in colors. So Secret Sea is the new one, and it's like a really dark bluish, blackish green color. It's gorgeous. All right, so I'm going to ink this up really well. And you could use like any dark ink. You can use your Memento, you can use, whatever your favorite black ink is. I like my Memento, but because it's a linen type ink, like the pad is linen, I don't always get a really good stamp. But this one is like one of those spongy ones, and I love the color. So I'm not pressing really hard because I don't want to squish it, but I am making sure that I have coverage. Oh, look at that. Okay, so you can see here, I need a little bit more pressure along that one side. Not bad. I'm going to give it another stamp. And this is why, if you're doing a stamp like this, you really want to use a positioner of some kind. There's many, many, many on the market. You don't have to pay a fortune for them. You can get them on Amazon, and you can get them at your local craft store. I'm sure even the big box craft stores have them. All right, so let's do this again. Beautiful. So I'm just going to make sure I get my corners. And I'm just missing this one little part here in the leaves. It didn't connect that great. So let's see. Not bad, not bad. I think I'm going to give it one more. I stuck my finger in it. There. Thank goodness for baby wipes. That's all I can say. There. Okay. Now, I did get some ink here and on this stamp right here. I don't know if that would affect it, but I'm not taking a chance. All right, so here we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Super, super cute. Just absorb all that ink. I love it. Okay, so to clean this, I'm going to take this, give it a good clean. Now, definitely I'll be giving this a clean after. Just rinse it under water. So this chamois comes with the glass mat kit. You get the glass mat and this, as well as this silicone little mat here, which is great. So that's a super little kit. And I would not have believed, like I have several glass mats, and it never occurred to me to use one for stamping. And boy, you just get a superior stamp with it, to be really honest. I used to use like a neoprene placemat on my table, especially for the photopolymer, because you know, if your table is warped even a little bit, you're not going to get a decent stamp. And boy, what a difference. What a difference. Okay, so here is, isn't that stunning? Like, I just love this. So I don't even think I need to do anything other than pop it onto a card base. I'm going to trim it down. Like, I wonder if I took one of these envelopes and then put it on, or is that too much black, do you think? Maybe it's too much black. Let me grab a white card base. I have so much ink on my hands. I can't believe these card bases are going to stay white, but we shall try. Just going to wipe, just in case. Look. Holy moly, I tell you. Okay, so I just need to score this card base. This one isn't scored, so I'm going to score this at 5 1/4. Oh no, sorry, 4 1/4. I don't know where the 5 1/4 came from, but 4 1/4. I was doing this the other day and I grabbed the wrong blade and cut it right in half. That was special. All right, so let me burnish this. So let's see. I actually kind of like having that like that. I mean, you don't see a lot of it, but I kind of like it. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to trim my envelope to 4 by 5 1/4. Oh, my blade just flew off. 4 by 5 1/4. I have a mat on my rug, one of those plastic office mats, and it's just disintegrating because we have too much of a pad under the carpet. And so it's the pressure of the chair is too much for it, I guess. It's supposed to be for carpeting, but more in industrial carpet. And this one is, while it's somewhat industrial, I do have a really big mat underneath, like one of those fluffy, not fluffy, but spongy underlays. All right, so I'm going to cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. Cute. And I wonder if this will fit on a regular envelope. Because here's the flap from an envelope. You could just glue, oh yeah, look. Just glue that right on there to finish your envelope. Great idea, Lisa. Thank you. So then I need to trim this to, if this is 4 by 5 1/4, I'm going to trim this to 3 3/4. I guess I'll do it on this side. 3 3/4. I forgot I have adhesive. I couldn't figure out why it's sticking. So 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to take, how big is that? 5 1/2. So I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off the top and 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. So 1/4 of an inch. I'm struggling because there's adhesive on the back of this and it's sticking to my trimmer. Okay, so 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. So this stamp is actually in the new annual catalog. And if you're in Canada, it's $28. I just love it. I've been playing with it a little bit. As I said, I haven't had a lot of time to do any kind of crafting the last month. I've been away from home 3 out of the 4 weeks, and then again I had I was out of commission for a couple days here this week, so there. I like it. Okay, so let's put some glue on here. I'm going to pop that on there. Beautiful. And then this is just going to go right on here. There, it slipped a little bit. So, isn't that pretty? I love it. Beautiful. If you wanted to, on the inside, we could cut a strip of this to be, I don't know, half an inch. How do we do that? Half an inch by 5.5. And we can just glue that right up here like this. There, gorgeous. There goes my sump pump again. There, lovely, absolutely gorgeous. So then for our envelope, we can take this that we cut off the original envelope and just glue it right to our flap. Actually, I'm going to put the glue on here because then I can see where I need to be. My glue bottle's a little icky there. Okay. All right. So, good Lord. If it's not ink, it's glue. All right. So I'm going to take this and just glue this right to here. So it doesn't fit 100%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this part away. Oops, without cutting my envelope. And then on here, I just have a little sliver of white. I'm just going to trim that right away. And there, you have your envelope is all decorated. And then you could put some of those, I was going to say trees, some of those birds at the front. What do I do with them? Yeah, so we can put some of those birds on the front of the envelope there. Like that. See if I can get some of this ink off my hands. There, super cute. Oh, I used the Secret Sea instead of the Misty Moonlight. That's okay. All right, so here are the 4 cards that we made. So there's the the last one that we made. Isn't that cute? And then the other 3 that were from the kit that I just modified slightly so that I could get more mileage out of my card bases. There. So those are the 4 cards for today. I hope you enjoyed those. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, don't forget that you can get those add-on dies, which I keep forgetting to use, which is craziness. I should use them. So maybe if I do some more alternatives, I'll use those dies. And then the next Paper Pumpkin coming out is, it's called Full of Charm, and it's a floral one. And it makes 9 cards, 3 of 3 different designs. And the envelopes and card bases have foiling, gold foiling on them, so they're pretty nice. And then they also coordinate with a floral charm suite of stamps and dies. So that'll be kind of fun. Actually, I don't know if I have those. I'll have to look and see. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to those ones next month. So you have until the 10th if you're not already a subscriber and you'd like that kit, you have until the 10th to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. And you don't have to subscribe for a whole year. You can just subscribe for 1 month just to try it out, or 3 months, 6 months, or a whole year. So, alrighty. Oh, excuse me. Alrighty. Thank you so much for spending some time with me on this dreary, cold day. I hope that this inspires you a little bit. So dig out your stamps. Doesn't have to be a Paper Pumpkin. If you have a kit laying around that you've been sort of hemming and hawing about, dig it out and get her done. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Bye for now.